All right, Mama. Got something a little bit different today. Happy New Year's to everyone. I want to give you a little idea of what I've got going on here. So, everything that we've got is some type of metal building, square tubing. It's been built for different purposes, and we've added on and done this and that and the other. When I built the first building, I was in heating and air, and I wasn't expecting to do this type of work. I had an old car, and I looked to redo it myself, but I really wasn't expecting to get into like full restoration work. So ended up, pouring concrete, closing it in. It escalates. I didn't build a big shop to do auto body or restoration work. If I had have known, hindsight's 2020, then probably would have built one big building, financed it, made a payment on it, blah, blah, blah. When you see a lot of these guys online, they've got really big, nice buildings. But anyway, we've got what we've got. We've got what God has provided, and I'm very thankful to have what we've got. That being said, these walls don't do anything as far as storage. So I've picked up a couple of cabinets from eBay, and as you can see, for a cabinet to mount right in here, it's going to have something across, like two horizontal square tubing pieces welded in at the right spacing so that I can drill through the cabinet into the square tubing. So that's what we've got going on for today. It is New Year's. We're going to get together with family here in just a little bit. So I'm not really getting into finishing my buffing and stuff. I'm not going to get into that. Let me show you this cabinet. Oh, looks like we've got a lot of assembly to do. Like I've said before, Mama, you can't be handsome. You need to be handy. Being able to read instructions is a must. Being able to look at pictures is also a must. And having the right tools. You know what I mean? What y'all got going on today? Drop it down in the comments. I read through my analytics the other day. Only 4% of my viewers actually watch the channel. The views that I've been getting is new subscriber or new viewers. I'd like to kind of pick that up. Maybe, interact with y'all. This thing has locking tabs. Let me get you in here. It has these locking tabs right there that locks in down in the corners, and then you drop some screws in. like back here at the back. That's where coming in handy. That's where coming in handy is also crucial, because everybody can't be handsome. We got to be handy, Mama. Check this out, Mama. It's got little pieces in there for strength. It takes 4 screws. It's really warming up out here working in the direct sun. Here in the center of North Carolina. Where y'all from? If any of you want to bleep bloop it down in the comments. See that extra bracing right there for strength? This side over here, got to get that one in too. There's those slots I was telling you about. Those hooks on the side. Now it's got to have 3 screws inside to hold it in place. What we got. So this is it. This is a cabinet built on New Year's Day here at Crisco's Body Shop. So back here at the back you can see there's the 4 holes. So that's what I wanted to do, was get one together, and this will tell me where my square tubing needs to run across at, as far as my 2 parallel lines on the inside. So let's get some measurements and get some tubing. So Dylan and I was talking yesterday. What do y'all think is better? Being good at just one thing, or being able to do multiple things? So, you know, when I was 17, I helped my uncle in the body shop. And then I went in, I've had several different jobs. Heating and air, construction work. That's where I learned how to use this. When I started in construction, I couldn't even read a tape measure. And my boss man, you know, he took me under his wing and he showed me everything. And he knew a lot. He was very, very good boss man. But every day, like to work and on the way to work, we'd practice reading the tape measure. I just didn't know how. You know, I'd never had nobody to show me. All that we had done was just race, drag race. That's what my dad liked to do. So like measuring this, instead of pulling tape measure between the two and not getting it exactly right, if you'll measure over 10 inches and then measure over from the other side to there, that's 44 3/4. So that tells you that you need a piece to go in between there at 54 3/4. And then you can cut it and it'll fit, because you know how it is sometimes if you hold it and roll over to it, it's hard to justify, you know, that rolled corner exactly what perfect is. So, what do y'all think? Is it better to be good at just one thing? Let's just say that I was only good at painting, but not really good at body work or fabrication or welding, because I'm by no means a 10 at every one of them. I would say maybe an average of 5 or 6. Some things I may achieve in better than, but I'm not like really grand in all of them. My welding, my fabricating, my sanding, my buffing. I mean, y'all seen what I can do. Some of the earlier vehicles that I did that really went above and beyond, like no budget, no questions asked, just fix it. Like the guy with the 60 Impala, he bought it brand new, and he brought it here, and I mean, it was a rust bucket, and he says, I want it fixed. I want it better than the day that I bought it brand new in 1960. And I said, wow, you're talking a lot of money. And then we changed engines, or they built that engine, but it got air conditioned, it got disc brakes front and rear, stuff that it didn't come with in 1960. So it really turned out good. But at the time I was using Durablocks, and it looked good, but it don't get it flat like an acrylic block. Linear blocks, true blocks, big kid blocks, any type of acrylic block is going to do better than a Durablock. But in my mind, I'm thinking, if I was only good at one thing, let's say painting, then who would fix all the other stuff? Who would hang this cabinet if I was only good at one thing, painting? I'd be sitting here waiting for somebody to bring me something to paint. I would have to pay somebody to hang the cabinet, or I would struggle with how to get my measurements to put my tubing on the wall so that I could hang the cabinet. So in my mind, I'm thinking being able to do several things at, say, a 5, 6, or 7, instead of being able to do just one thing at a 10. That's just my thoughts. But, that tubing to run across here, horizontal, and the cabinet to go up on the wall. Something like right in there. And, it's a pretty big cabinet after you get it in here. But I wanted something to hold all this stuff. So let's get some tubing started. All right, so I got my piece ready. This is going to be the top piece. 54 3/4. I'm going to cut it with the actual DeWalt grinder. That'll be faster than getting the air tool out, running the compressor, because the grinder really cuts fast and loud. But let me show you another tool that I have bought. I had been wanting one of these 60-foot 12-3 with a 3-way retractable. Picked it up on Amazon. I don't remember now exactly what I paid for it. It was, I bought 2 of them, so that gave me a little bit off. The next one is on the way. I think I give, about $80 a piece for them, maybe. It's little things like that that simplify it for me, because see, now I'll be able to pull out and go underneath this door and pull a good heavy gauge wire to run the grinder to cut that. Or I could hook up a cord. I could take and unroll that, or I could pick up that one that was hanging on that right there. But I'm going to use this because I can pull it out, do the work, and it'll retract back in there and be clean. How easy pulling that out here is. Always be protected, mama. Ears, eyes. If you're closed up, make sure you've got something for your lungs. Always make sure you use a handy dandy square to make sure you got a nice clean cut in the end. So this one should be ready to slide in the wall. Alright, so I've decided, so like I had said earlier, I wanted my cabinet to set flush tight against the insulation, and so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the cabinet fit in right here, and I'll be able to run some screws through the side of it and up through the top. Now the cabinet itself, as you can see the holes inside, it's made to like screw to here, but if I do that, then that's going to be an extra 2.5 inches out into the shop when I really don't need that kind of extra. So I'm going to change up the way I had it designed. All right, so welded in the tubing, held this up tight to both sides, run me a screw up in there, and then run 3 more or 2 more, and then run 3 in the side over there. These right here, I'll probably take those back out one at a time and put like a washer that will give it more surface area to mount, and then I'll end up putting 2 more for a total of 5. That way it's setting in instead of, you know, setting out on the outside, because I mean, let's be honest, I don't really need no more room inside here, and that will help take up some of the space right there. So, and then it'll give a good storage space up on top. The piece for the bottom, I don't have another piece that's long enough, so what I'm gonna have to do is weld these 2 pieces together and then measure and cut my 54 3/4. I'm gonna switch that over to a grinding stone and grind some of that boogered weld up, because I welded it outside and it was blowing the gas. Let me get you in here and show you what I got going on. So this piece here actually was a little bit tighter, but it packed in and stayed. So all I got to do is just weld it. But then that's kind of what it will look like. I think it'll make a nice addition. Let me get this thing together. All right, so it's up. The other piece is welded in. I ended up, I put washers on that top side just for extra strength, 5 of them, 3 in the sides, 3 in the bottom. Had to take that fake floor, or not fake floor, but the floor back out of it so that I could run my screws inside here. So now all we got to do is just finish assembling this thing. So you got your rollers on the drawer, rollers inside, like so. And then it comes with keys to lock it. So it's just like that. We got some storage space. Got to put the shelf in. Well, the little shelves, the little shelf brackets, they just roll in and lock. And that makes a nice little divider, nice little shelf. Not so sure exactly if that's the height that we want it. Like I said, I'm not so sure what we're gonna put in there or exactly how we're gonna do things. But I know that I wanted some storage in here. I was thinking about putting another one, you know, on this side, but I don't know. They, like I said, they a little bit bigger than what I thought. I mean, I looked at the measurements when I bought them, but you know how it is when things get here. Sometimes they seem bigger than. But anyway, that will conclude this New Year's Day cabinet build. And I think, as far as from my question when we first started, is it better to be really good at just one thing, or is it better to be good, decent, mediocre on several things? I'm going to choose the several things, because here's why. This cabinet was done today. What would it have costed to get somebody to come in, weld the tubing in, and put this cabinet together and put it up if I couldn't have? So that's why I think being able to do multiple tasks is better than just being able to do one thing good. Because like when we were eating lunch with my mama, we were talking about it. And I told him, I said, just imagine if I was just a good painter. I would be waiting on somebody to bring me a paint job, a car to paint. Or if I was just a good body man, I would fix the body and they would have to come and get their car if it needed wiring and painting and the glass put in. But like I said, to have all of those items, you really need a bigger building than what we've got. But we are making it happen every day with what God has provided. So to each and every one of you out there that's watching, y'all have a very Merry New Year.